Today we're actually talking about becoming a vocalist and vocalists working with producers. So most of you are looking into production. So hopefully I'll be able to enlighten you as to the best way to work with a vocalist and how to get the best result. Because all the producers not saying something verbally, they still have a lot to say emotionally within the music. So I'll give you an idea of the kind of stuff that I do when I hear the instrumental. I feel an angel, I come from stage with 10 keys of weed and a bucket and cigarette. Took them up and took them upstairs. Weighed a lot on the kitchen skills. It was with another case of paper, laid out neat with a cartoon caper. Cartoon shut for a Mr. Crack. With a neighbor's son caught us in the act. I've been making music and records for a long, long time, and since I was, 21 years old. I did lots of stuff musically. It was all very varied.
Really vibrant scene with all kinds of bands like Franz Ferdinand, and for a small place I think it's hit above its weight musically in all kinds of other genres. It didn't really have a reggae scene when we started, and that was why we started playing reggae and doing it in bars and then starting club nights and building the sound, because no one else was doing it, and we felt that people needed to hear the music.
So we go there and have a good fun night, and the sound system, they built the sound system and stuff. That's where I definitely developed the freedom to be able to do what I wanted. The thing about the reggae scene, about being in the Mungo's nights, was you weren't expected to be anybody else. People accepted you for who you are. So in the early days, my vocals might not have been that brilliant or that tight, but you always had your people supported you and you felt like you were surrounded by friends. That's the beautiful thing about the reggae world. The Mungo's were delighted to try and help me to get with other producers. I think it was Tom called me one day and he was like, Soom, there's a label out there called Jahtari, you might have met them once.
Jahtari Rhythm Force.
They want you to come and do some vocals for them. Are you up for it? And it turned out it was Jan, it was Disrupt. And so he sent me some tracks. I listened to some of them and I just brought a bundle of lyrics, as I usually do. And I sang over them, and the gig was really quite a special gig. And at the end of it, Jan was like, there's something really flawless about that. I mean, we've only just met and stuff, but it really worked. Then we decided to create a concept album, and actually, to be honest, I mentioned the fact that my whole life I've always wanted to do an album about ganja. No label would ever let me. I was over, so it was like, I think it's a great idea, I think we should do it. I was like, oh, God bless you.
I really like these hot rocks, spinning on a no box in the corner of a shop, selling nothing but old school whip up on 12 and 7 inches. 3 decks at post one distant to the diamonds cut in 1979 to 87. So
I believe that everybody has a voice.
I believe that we've all got lots and lots of voices, and I believe that if all we did was practice all day,
we'd find that voice. So the thing is,
depending on which kind of voice you use,
you actually use a different part of your body to bring that air out.
So if you actually use this one, the funny thing is, because you're only using a little bit of air at a time, you can actually go for ages and ages and ages, and you never really need to take a breath, and you can keep going and do your ABC, ABCD, ABJ, and you can keep going and going before you need to even take a breath. The greatest strength of an opera singer is the amount of air that they can bring out gradually out of their stomach. There's a simple exercise you can do. You have to breathe in, and you have to push that air right to the bottom of your diaphragm, so right to the bottom of your stomach. So the best way to describe it is to make a pregnant belly. You know, when you do that as a joke to your pals or whatever, and you push all that air out and make your belly really big. So you breathe in, and what you do is you keep that in for 20 seconds. So you keep a wee timer, hold your breath for 20 seconds basically. After 20 seconds, you don't just go, why don't you just do that?
Because although your lungs and everything are being healed because you're shoving air into your body, you're not allowing your body to be trained to bring that air out. So it's not bringing it out gradually, it's being taught to just release it really quickly. So what you do is you keep it in for 20 seconds and then you express it over 15. So you breathe in for 20 seconds. So what's happening is the air is circulating in your stomach, it's expanding your lung capacity, it's healing your lungs, especially if you used to be a smoker or if you still are. And it's healing all the inside, and it's also expanding your diaphragm so you can hold more air. And then when you breathe it out, what that does is it trains your subconscious to release air gradually. When you're producing it, especially as a vocalist, there's nothing worse than recording a brilliant vocal that you consider to be amazing, and then the producer doesn't know what to do with it. They've not compressed it properly. Suddenly you hear the recording and you think, that doesn't sound like me, it sounds really tinny. Because if you're doing it like this, all you can hear, it's a lot tinnier, depending on where you record it from. So this sounds a bit more like, Madonna or something. But if you actually hear all the details of the voice, you realise to yourself, wait a minute, I could catch a lot more here. You can catch all the little details. There are a lot of simple tricks you can use. One of them for a vocal, which I say to lots of producers, is listen to how the vocal sits. It's a shame to have a brilliant instrumental and then a vocal that just sounds tinny and thin. So you can fatten it up. Good compression. I'm sure you all know all about that. And believe it or not, a tiny little bit of distortion. I tell you why. Can you hear all the little imperfections here? It's not perfectly smooth. That's what makes it so human. There are all these tiny little imperfections that are very, very tiny. You can barely hear them. But if you crank them up a little bit, if you distorted it, those little imperfections are distorted. So suddenly it sounds a lot more like this. No, is that like I'm saying so what is it? It's a lot tighter. You can hear all the, and as a result, the vocal sounds like it's scraping the speaker more. So it's basically a lot of fart, as I suppose technical speak, it just sounds fatter.
Not on this day, when I say one come, but throw us away. Let us know what you got, I know you can stay. No, we'll stay and we'll do it this way on this.
If you're going to sing, or if you're a producer, you're going to look for rhythm and melody in a vocal. Now, think about those words, rhythm. Now, as I look at myself, I'm saying rhythm and melody. Melody, rhythm. If you want to become a really good singer, what you need to do is learn how to rap. Can you believe it? You probably think, but why would I have to do that? Rapping, believe it or not, is easier than singing because you're not thinking about a melody. So, you're thinking about rapping first, never blow a fire because you get burnt. And as I think about the future because it's gaming up fun and all this shit and blood and sweat and tears and yet to come complicated from listening before you know what to run. Asking questions, mentions and a question, live out they'll begin one but thinking we could live with a knife because rapping doesn't take any melody, it's just rhythm. Then suddenly, never blow a fire because you get burned. And as I think about the future because it's gaming up fun, all this shit and blood and sweat and tears and yet to come complicated from listening before you know where to run. Questions, mentions and a question, live the way you bump and thinking we could live with a knife. See what I've done there?
Television judges for a new religion. One-way pictures into a darling. There's open prisons flooded. Redding and Sunday posts, not for religion. MC's blood and all holy water. Cause but I freedom. We are the alright. Spaghetti bites.
I think maybe in my last life I was severely wronged by a king or something. And I feel really strongly about injustice or, suffering the poor. It upsets me.
Who is it that pays the taxes? They should be working for you.
Always aim to push this thought process to allow people to open their minds and think about it.
If your government is no longer working for you, you need to be like, listen, I pay you to work for me, and if you're not going to do what I want as a member of the public, you get right off. That's a fact.
The arrangement makes or breaks your track. If you arrange it right from the start, you could have any vocalist come in, but sometimes the vocalist doesn't have a clue. You're the producer, it's your responsibility. Your responsibility to arrange it. You have to first think to yourself, okay, what length is the track going to be? I think 3 minutes 30 at a max. 3 minutes is perfect. That way, let's say you get 2 or 3 choruses in there, you give people just enough, you leave them wanting more. Less is more. You've probably heard that a lot of time. Less is more. Although, ladies, that doesn't apply to what you wear, so bear that in mind too. As a vocalist and as a poet, as a writer, or a philosopher or whatever, it's important to me that the vehicle I use to present my philosophy must be to the highest standard possible. As a result, I started my own label. There were so many other labels out there, but the basis of Renegade Masters wasn't just the music, unlike 99% of labels. Mine was more based on the philosophy. I want to release music where people have something to say, irrelevant of the genre. I'm finally going to provide a home for these people and say, you know what, it's great what you're doing. So Renegade Masters now exists, and the name is actually representative of what I consider the artists on the label to be. If you decide you want to be an artist and you want to experience a lot of life and not just be cooped away all day, you're going to have far more to write about. Why? Because you're going to meet more people, you're going to hear more stories about the world, you're going to have more experiences. I think anyone that discovers that they have a passion for something, that's where it truly begins. It's just there, for some reason, they have a need to do it. They don't know why, there's not any specific reason, but it saves, it's better than sitting in front of the TV or wasting your time. I believe that being a true artist is dissecting the truth, basically dissecting the truth of the world. You're experimenting with life, you're experimenting with beauty. You're trying to find something that's going to make you ultimately happy. So I think a true artist spends all their time thinking, contemplating the world, contemplating everything. The universe wants you to tell the truth, it wants you to be honest, and it wants you to be an artist.
I've got my King Tubby t-shirt on today. Like, you look at what he was doing in his time, and yeah, he was using all the tapes and blah blah blah, but that was just because that was what he could get his hands on. I do love the old sound, but you know, time moves on and the music moves on as well, and you don't want to just only be harking back to what there has been, but using that as an inspiration. So I think if King Tubby was around today, he'd be on all the digital stuff for sure, you know.
Welcome to Dubspot. We believe in providing you hands-on experience right away. Whether you're completely new to music and want to turn the sounds in your head into a musical reality, or you're an experienced artist looking to refine your skills and add new tools to your arsenal, we're ready to meet you at your level. For students of all ages, all levels, and all styles of music, Dubspot is here to help you achieve your goals. With course offerings both online wherever you are and at our school in the heart of New York City, we are ready to guide you through the next phase of your musical transformation. Whether you want to produce music, DJ, or do both, you've come to the right place. Come explore Dubspot for yourself. Become a part of our community and make music.